Welcome back to Night Fright Hour. Tonight, the halls are empty, but the air isn't. It's colder than it should be. The lights buzz and flicker, and every footstep sounds like it's following you. We're diving into 4 true high school horrors. Hauntings that won't move on, disappearances that were never explained, and symbols that should have stayed buried. If you've ever felt watched in a safe place, this one's for you. Doors locked, head up. Let's begin. Story 1. The Teacher's Secret. It was a normal Tuesday at Northfield High. Warm air, cafeteria smell drifting into the halls. But Ethan felt it first. That drop of temperature when Ms. Turner walked past. She never missed a beat in class, but today her eyes didn't land. They slid over faces like she was counting or searching. At lunch, Ethan and 2 friends pushed open the old janitor's closet. The door was already unlatched. The air was swamp still, heavy with bleach and old water. On the floor lay a black slate, not mounted, just resting like a tombstone. Scratched into it, thin looping symbols that pulsed when your eyes tried to hold them. Ethan's skin prickled. The closer he got, the more his breathing shortened. He recognized a curve, Ms. Turner's handwriting from the board this morning. Only here it was older, more frantic.
The door slammed. In the corner stood Miss Turner, face colorless, pupils blown wide.
"You shouldn't have come," she whispered, as if the words weren't hers. The room tilted. Ethan's knees locked, heart thudding hard enough to hurt. The door creaked open on its own. Hallway empty. They bolted. When they looked back, no Miss Turner. She didn't come back to class. She didn't go home. Vanished. The school boarded the closet, but Ethan still checked. Through a gap in the plywood, he saw the slate. The symbols had multiplied. Later, he learned the school used to sit where a 19th century seminary once held protective rights over catastrophic outbreaks. A teacher, Eliza Turner, kept records of warding symbols that require renewal by a dedicated hand. Northfield High had another Turner, descendant, who used the same script. Ethan swears the symbols change only when someone reads them aloud. He doesn't say the letters anymore. He won't. Story 2. The Phantom Hall Monitor. Friday, after hours, Oakwood High felt like a drained fish tank. Everything's still. Lights a little too loud. Mark walked alone, phone in hand, when the air cooled his breath. At the far end, a hall monitor in a faded uniform. Still, staring. He approached. The fluorescents flickered. Once, twice. The monitor didn't blink. Her name tag caught the light. Ms. Stevens. Mark's stomach fell. Ms. Stevens died 2 years ago, hit and run at the South Crosswalk. He'd signed the memorial poster. His palms dampened, heartbeat in his ears. Shoes squeaked behind him, footsteps, but no one else was there. He looked back to the end of the hall, empty. That weekend, he dug through old yearbooks and accident reports. Ms. Stevens was known for staying late, so freshmen got home safe. The night she died, the South Crosswalk lights malfunctioned. No warning flash. Over the next month, Mark saw her only when the building emptied. Sometimes the exit sign would buzz and the south doors would lock for 10 seconds, like the school was holding him back. One night, he followed the feeling to the crosswalk. The caution lights flared without a car in sight. Mark now, every Friday, someone leaves white tape across that crosswalk. 2 bars, like arms outstretched. No one admits to it. The tape never shows on the cameras. Story 3. The locker that shouldn't have been there. Ridgewood High assigned Sarah locker 221. Rusted edges, metallic blood smell, and a draft that shouldn't exist. When she opened it, a yellowed letter fell into her hands. They watch, they listen, they never leave. You're next. The first week, her books shifted. Spines reversed, pages dog-eared she hadn't read. Twice, she heard breathing behind the vents. The gym hallway grew silent around 221, a sound vacuum that made her ears ring. She dug through old student forums. Decades back, a girl named Ivy Lang disappeared between 6th period and cheer practice. Witnesses last saw her near 221, back when that locker row was storage. Rumor said Ivy kept a diary about a teacher who watched. about phones that rang from locked rooms. One evening, Sarah walked past and the corridor strobed, fluorescents trying to hold. On 221, fresh scratches, a tiny ivy leaf carved from the inside out. She spun the dial. Click. The lock yielded without a combo. Inside lay another letter, newer paper, same frantic hand. Not a curse, a container. Don't open when it knocks. That night, something knocked from the locker 3 times. Soft, then hungry. Sarah's throat dried. She backed away until her shoulder hit tile. She transferred. Months later, a friend texted her a photo. 221 sealed with sheet metal. The caption read, "It keeps knocking. No one stands near that stretch anymore." Story 4. The Phantom Student. First day of senior year at Westbrook, Jason noticed the new girl. Black hair, skin like paper held to light, eyes that didn't reflect. She sat in the back, head slightly tilted like she was listening to something behind the wall. He asked the teacher after class, "New transfer?" The teacher's face changed, confusion, then fear. "We don't have one." Jason started catching snaps of her, reflection in trophy case glass, the corner of a yearbook photo where no one remembered a session. His sleep thinned. In the library, he found an accident report, a sophomore years ago locked in a science prep room during a storm drill. The generator failed. She'd texted a friend, "I can hear class. No one hears me." By the time they got the door open, it was too late. Jason returned to homeroom. The back desk sat empty. On its surface, patterns traced in dust. 3 parallel lines repeating, "Help," with no vowels. When he looked again, the lines were gone, replaced by a single sentence etched clean with a fingernail. "You know who I am." His hands shook so hard, his chair legs screeched. Time snapped forward with the bell. He blinked, and she was standing in the doorway, eyes on him like she'd been waiting for him to read it. Months later, he still hears her chair legs slide behind him when rooms fall quiet. He carries a spare key now, any key, and never ignores a closed door. Classrooms hold more than lessons. They keep promises, some made in panic, some carved into paint, some whispered through vents. A missing teacher, a crosswalk guardian, a locker that contains more than books, a student caught between attendance and absence. If you walk those halls after dark and the air suddenly turns cold, if a light stutters when you pass, if a door stays closed longer than it should, take it as a warning. The living aren't the only ones keeping order. Send your true or claim true encounters to Night Fright Hour. Subscribe, keep notifications on, and meet me here after dark. Keep your lights on, keep your doors locked, and if something asks you to open, make sure it's meant for you.